Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, I'm going to show you how to create FAQ and Q&A sections for MyListing Single Listings. We're going to do all this without using a plugin, and I'm going to show you how to do this on one of the starter sites. So you get to look at a live, real world, and air quotes, MyListing website. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in here. I'm going to be working from this guide you see I have pulled up on my screen here. I'm going to move this to my other screen, but you can get your hands on this guide if you're a MyListing Club member. Just go to the MyListing Club website. That's mylisting.club, and you'll find it up under resources and then filtering by guides. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. I got a request here from a client, and the request was, Ryan, my listing owners would like to have sections on their listings for things like FAQs, Q&As, etc. How would we go about creating those? Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in on how we do this. The first thing we need to do is set up an FAQ section. So let's create an FAQ, a frequently asked questions section together, which you can then use as a guide for other similar sections, okay? So we first need to go and edit our listing type. So let's go ahead and we'll go with the coach for this one. So let's edit the coach listing type. We're going to jump over here to fields. And the first thing we need to do is add a form heading field. Okay. So what this field does is it breaks up the add listing form. So it creates kind of like grouped sections. It breaks up the form. So it's not just this long run on form that's kind of hard to follow. It breaks things up. Okay. So we've got our form heading there. We're going to put a heading of FAQs just for the purposes of this video. So we're just going to recreate an FAQ section, like I said earlier. We're going to go ahead and change the icon here. Let's just put in a question mark icon. All right, and then if you want to put something in the description field that gives the listing owner an idea of why this field is there and how to take advantage of it being there, give them an example of what can go in there, just type your text there in the description. I'm just going to put, this is a great description. Okay, we'll leave that in there for now. You can even add an image, as you can see here. Okay, so we've got our label. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. Give it a label, give it a key. Yeah, so we want to give this a key. We're just going to put in FAQ-heading here. And the reason why you do that is, so if I just do FAQ here, let's go back. Let's delete this. Let's just add that form heading back here. Okay, and I put in FAQ here. We'll put FAQs. You see that comes in there. That has a potential chance of clashing with something else that's in your listing type. You always want that field key to be unique. So you could leave this key as it is. You just got to make sure you don't add anything else that has that same exact key. So for example, if I go and add another form heading here, and let's say I put FAQs in this one, you see the key is the same and the key is the same. That's going to cause problems. So if you just want a foolproof way of ensuring that your keys are unique, just give that a unique key right off the bat. So FAQ-heading. Okay. Okay, so let's go back in here. We've got our label, we've got our key. Let's put our description back in there. This is a helpful description. You can add an image there, like I said. Let's put our icon back in there. Okay. FAQs, in my opinion, are not vital when it comes to comparing listings with each other. And plus there's the potential of having a lot of data, which we'll see here in a second. So in my opinion, I would toggle this off. I don't want to show FAQs in the listing comparison. It's just not super vital information. Now, if you want to upsell your customers on a higher package, so you could say, to get access to an FAQ section for your listing, then you need to purchase package X. For that, we would enable package visibility. You also need to do it on the heading as well. And then you just choose your package, that's going to allow that, or packages. All right. But for now, we're not going to do that for the purposes of this video. Okay, so we've got our FAQ section in there. Now we need to start adding our actual questions. And for that, we're going to add this text, custom field text. Okay. And for this, for the purposes of the video, we will just say we'll just call it question 1. That label's obviously going to be like, what is the actual question you are asking somebody? You know what? Let's do that. Let's make it more realistic. What is your favorite color? Okay, our key is fine. It's an obvious question. You don't need a placeholder or a description. You don't need a minimum length or a max length. You shouldn't need this. I don't think you would want this required, but depending on the website and the business, maybe you want to make these questions a required question. Okay, we want to show this on the submit form. We want to show this in the admin edit page. Again, in my opinion, we do not want to show this in the listing comparison pop-up. So I'm going to toggle that off. And again, if you want to upsell, make sure that if you're upselling, that the heading also, whatever you've got here in the heading for your packages, for package visibility, make sure you also do that for each of these fields in here. Okay, or they're not going to display the same. So you want to match those up. Okay, so back here in the FAQs, if you want to upsell, and let's say you say they have to purchase the Fit 1 package to be able to show this, right? To get access to it. Then in this field, we need to set the same thing. We want these to be identical. Okay, now there is an argument that could be made that maybe you want to show the FAQ heading to everyone, so everyone gets access to the heading, but maybe they only get access to a few questions, to select questions. So let's say I drop in another question here. What is your favorite animal? Okay, so maybe what is your favorite color is available to, we'll say everyone, but what is your favorite animal is only available to those that purchase, a certain package. This is another way to upsell. You can give them access to 2 or 3 questions or specific questions, or 4 or 5, or however you want to do that. Okay, so again, for the purposes of this video, we're going to turn off package visibility. Okay, so that is off. We've got a couple questions that we're asking there. So now we need to display that information that we've collected from our listing owners on the front end. And to do that, we add a block. So for that, we go over to single page, content and tabs, and then you can select the existing tab that you may have in your listing type to add the FAQs to, or add a custom tab and then add it in. Okay. For this video, we're going to just click on this details tab that already exists. Okay. We're going to click on this details block, drop that in. Let's click in it to edit it. And instead of details for the label, we want to put this as FAQs. And we'll go ahead and put a block icon here of question to match. Make the block icon match the form icon, the heading icon. All right. And then next up, we need to click add row and then click into that row to edit it. We don't necessarily want an icon for every single question. So I'm just going to leave that blank. Okay. And I give this to you in the guide, but what we want to do, and I'll explain this, what this is doing. So what we are doing here is, because these content fields or areas allow for HTML to go in there, what I'm doing here is I'm wrapping it with strong tags, which is going to bold the question. And the question is, what's your favorite color? So this is kind of like a heading within the details, so to speak. Here we're adding a break. So we're saying, what is your favorite color in bold? And we're putting a break, so a line break, because we don't want the question to run into, follow directly by the answer. We want to break them up. So this will make more sense when I show you on the front end. So we've got the heading, if you will. We've got the break, and then using these brackets here, we're using this MyListing feature, the short code feature, to pull in the data, whatever it is that the listing owner answers for this question. Okay, so I'll go ahead and back out of this. Now I'm going to put 2 left brackets in here, and you'll see it automatically pulls up all the options where you can pull from. So I'm going to put 2 left brackets, and then I'm going to start typing what. There we go. So when I type that word in, it gives us all of our fields that begin with the word what. Okay, it doesn't matter. I can put in W here. Okay, there, I can find it that way, but I'll just type in what. What is your favorite color? Okay, so just like that, we have built that question so it's displayed on the front end. All right, so let's go ahead and just say update here. Let's pick one of our coach listings. And we'll go ahead and edit this from the front end so you can see how that would look. So edit listing. We're going to scroll down to the bottom. Okay, so see how we've broken up that section by doing a form heading there. So it creates this little break right here you see between feedback and FAQs, okay? This right here is just because of this particular site that I built. This label would have to be given, some CSS to make that white, but it's probably not going to be the case on yours if you have more of a light theme. So should be ready to go. Okay, so let's say, I'm going to answer this. My favorite color is red. What's your favorite animal? Dog. All right, and we'll save our changes. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this from the back end so that we don't have to fill in those required fields. So let's go back here. I'll just edit this. We'll pretend like we edited it from the front end and it went through, okay? So what's your favorite color? Red. Favorite animal is a dog. And I will save this. Let's view that listing on the front end. And what did I do wrong here? Was a coach. It was our caching, and because again, this is a dark mode look, this won't be the case on yours most likely. So we just need to make this text, white here. Okay, and then that will show up. But that will show up on yours, okay? Okay, so let's go back here into the listing type. Let's go back to where we added this block in. So the details tab, FAQs block, and we've just got that one question in there. Okay, what is your favorite color? And as we see there, again, I'm just going to keep saying it because of this theme. This is more of a dark mode look. You just need some CSS. Okay, so there we go. So now we see how that's displayed there. And what we have here is the icon. So it's going to put in, MyListing is going to put an icon in there by default. I like to hide it. So I will actually add this to the guide. But what you can do is if you don't want to hide all of the icons for all of your blocks, what you can do is you see here what the item is here. So let's just do a display none on this. There we go. So now we've hidden that icon. So I'll also drop that into the guide after this video, update that on how to selectively remove icons from blocks. Okay. So that's pretty cool right there. So let's go back over here to our listing type. Let's run through adding a second question. I'm going to go ahead and just copy this top part here. Okay. Click add row. Click into the row. We're going to leave the icon alone. We're going to paste this in here. So this is our question that displays on the front end. What is your favorite animal? Okay, and then we're going to drop down here, 2 left brackets. We're going to start typing the word what. And now instead of what is your favorite color, what is your favorite animal? Okay, we're going to save this. We're going to edit that listing again and from the back end just so we can get this done quickly here. What is your favorite animal? Okay, I've already got the answer in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and refresh this page. There we go. So again, like I said, I keep saying the colors, it's not going to be this way on yours, but I'll go ahead and I'll fix this just so we can have a good look at what this looks like. Okay, there we go. So that is how that is going to look. And obviously, the more questions you add, they're all going to be displayed in there. And I'm going to give you in the guide the code to hide this. But that is ultimately what it's going to look like right here when you're done. So it's a really quick way to add those. I wanted to go back and also talk about really quickly the fields. And we see how we break these up. What we did here when we just dropped that form heading down in there, it drops the field automatically to the bottom of the form. So then when we went to add the text field, it dropped to the bottom of the form. So they laid out nicely. So something important to keep in mind here is that if you ever drag this heading somewhere, just be really careful when you do that, because it's could have adverse effects. So you want to make sure where you're dropping that is where you really want to drop that. And if you do move the FAQs, so let's say we move it up there above this feedback section, it's now sitting alone. So you got to make sure you also bring the corresponding questions up there to match with it. Okay, if that makes sense. All right. All right, that's it. So let me take a quick look at my guide and make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, that's really it, guys. It's pretty simple to set up. Now that you have the framework to do it, you can go in here and add Q&A sections, whatever other sections that kind of fall in line with FAQs, Q&As, and so on and so forth. Okay, hope all is well, and I'll catch you on the next video. See ya.